It's Kyle here, and today I'll be reviewing The Children of Men by P.D. James. So I'm going to be completely honest, until somewhat fairly recently, I was not even aware this book existed. Children of Men is one of my favorite movies. I think it is absolutely brilliant. And not too long ago, I was listening to a podcast that was kind of exploring some of the top movies of this century so far. And one episode was dedicated to Children of Men. And while they were exploring the movie, one of the hosts casually mentioned it was actually based on a book. And that was completely news to me. I had never heard this before, and I was like, oh, that's very exciting. I really love this movie. It's brilliant. I first say, if you've never seen the movie, go see the movie. It is absolutely staggeringly beautiful, moving, so well done. The acting performances are amazing. Everything about this movie is just perfect. It's one that, again, I completely agree with this podcast, it is one of the best movies made this century so far. Brilliant. And while I love the concept of the movie so much, how it's executed, that reading the book that inspired this movie sounded very, very interesting. And actually, the first thing that kind of surprised me, because Children of Men is a very epic movie, covers a lot. So when I got the book, it's a fairly short novel. I was like, I'm surprised a novel this short inspired a movie like that, because I was kind of expecting like a big 400 or 500, 600 page epic novel. And instead, this novel is just a little over 200 pages, so it's a very short novel. So it's like, this is interesting. I'm wondering, because once I saw that, I was like, there's going to be obviously some stuff that was in the movie that's not going to be in this book. This book is way too short to inspire everything that was in the movie, but it's kind of interesting to see where it would go. After reading the book, I'll say this is one of the rare occasions I enjoyed the movie more than I do the book. Now, did I like the book? Yes, I think this is a very good book. Is this one of my all-time favorite books? No. Is Children of Men the movie one of my all-time favorite movies? Yes. So I think this is one of the cases the director and everybody behind the movie took this book, took this concept, and improved on it, made it more profound. Just did a lot of really interesting decisions. Because when you read this book, if you've seen the movie, you'll go like, here's a little change the movie made. Oh yeah, here's another little thing they made. In every case, there wasn't anything in this book that wasn't in the movie. It's like, I kind of wish this part of the book had made it in the movie. It's like every point you could tell where they reached a decision why, for something to change. I think the movie made a very good decision to change it that way. Now, go back, with all that being said, I still enjoy this book a lot. So if you've never read the movie, you might read this book, and if you go the other order and see the movie second, who knows, maybe you might like the book more. I think it's always hard to tell. I think a lot of people tend to like what they enjoyed first. So be it if you read the book first and then you see a movie. And I think that's why so many times a lot of people prefer the books over the movie adaptations, because they fell in love with the book first. And when you fall in love with something, it's hard for the adaptation to meet your expectations. I fell in love with the movie first, so I think it might have been a little bit harder for me to for the book to meet those expectations. So I'd be very curious to talk to somebody that actually read the book first and then saw the movie. Do you prefer the book or do you prefer the movie? If you're not familiar with the concept, and the basic concept of both the book and the movie are the same, is that suddenly, for no expectation, infertility crisis on Earth, and not like, the birth rate's going down. No, babies stop being born. Basically, humanity loses the ability to have babies, and nobody knows why. The world dedicates itself to trying to find the answer. They cannot find the answer. And obviously, after a few years of this, humanity kind of reaches a conclusion like, hey, if we're not having babies anymore, we're over. Our civilization's over. And it kind of results in, this semi-collapse of civilization where it's still barely hanging on, but people have zero motivation to do certain things because you want to know if there's no future, what's the point behind all of this? And the book and the movie both kind of explores how this impacts culture and how different people respond to this. And is there any hope for a future? I would say the biggest difference between the movie and the book that explores how civilization reacts, and both these are set in England, so it's really looking at this from England's point of view, the civilization there, And I should say this is roughly set in our time period too, so contemporary to us, not massively in the future or not like 400 years in the past. So kind of right around roughly our same timeline. The movie obviously explores a lot of different ways that civilization has changed, but probably the biggest thing is with refugees. The movie and the book as well kind of portrays England as one of the most stable countries left on Earth. And because of that, a lot of refugees try to make it to England for a better life compared to the countries they're coming from, which have basically completely collapsed and is portrayed as chaos. That's true both in the book and the movie, although there's definitely a lot more refugees in the movie version than the book. The movie really puts a lot of focus on how English government and society treats these refugees and what that says about humanity in a lot of ways. This book, although it does deal with refugees as well and kind of explores their fate as well in this new world that they're living in, but I think the main focus is more tends to be more on religion. There's some religion talk in the movie, but religion is more the talk in this book and how it impacts people's faith. I think the movie more explores how it impacts your faith in humanity. This book plays around a lot with like how religion is impacted, exploring faith a little bit more towards that way. But again, there's elements of both in the movie and the book. Our main character Theodore is I would say very different in the book and movie. And again, like all the characters, the same characters kind of exist for the most part. They're just different. Some cases drastically different. Some cases slightly different. Theodore is our main protagonist in the book. There's a lot of elements of him that are very true through the book and the movie, that he is very much given up. There's no hope. He doesn't see the people they're trying to, completely give themselves over to faith and to religion and hoping that God will fix the issue. He does not get that. The ones who are still grabbing to hope that somehow science will be able to save something, he does not get that. He's just completely given up. And that's very true in the book and the movie. In both cases, Julian is the person that kind of helps change a lot of that. But this is where there's a drastic change. In the movie, Julian is his former wife that he had a kid with, and a tragedy happened and resulted in them separating and really changing both of them, how they have an outlook on life. In the book, they never met before they meet in the actions of the book. In both cases, Julian is kind of like a political activist. And this really kind of triggers Theodore's getting thrown into this adventure, this action that is going to test about what happens with civilization, specifically in England, but overall humanity in general. And is there any hope? I don't really want to get into the plot anymore, just in case you haven't seen the movie. I don't want to spoil anything with the book or the movie. I would first say, if you haven't seen the movie, see the movie, see the book. I don't really care what order you want to. If you're more of a movie person, go see the movie. If you like to read a little bit more, read the book first. I think you need to check them both out. They are very fascinating. If you only have time to do one, do the movie. Like it is an all-time classic. It is, in my opinion, one of the best movies made this century. It is mind-blowingly good. I wish there was more movies that could reach this quality. But again, if you have time for a short read, this is a good option as well, because it's a short novel. You can easily read this in a day or two if you have some time on your hands. But if you're into dystopian, if you're into reading about how society changes when faced with drastic challenges, this movie and this book do this in an amazing way. And I think it really reflects on our own society, specifically the movie and how we treat other people. So I'd highly encourage you to read the book, watch the movie. Movie version just called Children of Men. The book is The Children of Men by P.D. James. Highly recommend it. Let me know in the comment section below, if you read the book before you saw the movie, do you prefer the book over the movie? Let me know. I'd be kind of curious if anybody has that opinion. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please hit the like button. If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching. I'll see you the next time, and happy reading.